Imagine your thyroid as the engine of your body. It sets the pace for how fast or slow everything runs. Your metabolism, your energy, even your brain power. Now picture running that engine without enough oil. That's what happens when your diet is low in iodine. In this video, I'll break down exactly how iodine works with your thyroid, what happens when T3 and T4 drop, why your TSH skyrockets, and what you can do to keep your engine running smoothly. Stick with me because by the end, you'll know exactly how to balance iodine safely in your diet without overdoing it. Before anything else, it's important to know what iodine is and why it matters so much. Iodine is a trace mineral, meaning your body only needs a tiny amount, but it plays a massive role. Your thyroid literally cannot make its two main hormones, T3 or triiodothyronine and T4 or thyroxine, without it. Think of iodine as the raw material. T3 has 3 iodine molecules and T4 has 4. No iodine means no thyroid hormones, and without thyroid hormones, your entire metabolism slows down. These hormones affect everything from your energy levels to your heart rate, your body temperature, and even your brain development, which is why iodine is especially critical during pregnancy and early childhood. Here's the key. T3 is the active hormone that controls how efficiently your cells burn energy, while T4 is more like a storage form that your body can convert into T3 when needed. When iodine is missing, T4 production drops, which also means less T3 is available to power your metabolism. That's why even small changes in iodine intake can ripple out into big shifts in energy, weight, mood, and overall health. Your thyroid doesn't act alone, though it's part of a finely tuned feedback loop with your brain. Here's how it works. Your hypothalamus tells your pituitary gland to release TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. That TSH then tells your thyroid to make T3 and T4. When your iodine intake is too low, your thyroid can't keep up. T3 and T4 production drops, and your pituitary senses the problem. Its response: pump out more TSH, hoping to kick the thyroid into gear. That's why iodine deficiency often shows up as low T3 and T4 with high TSH on blood tests. But what does that feel like in everyday life? It often starts with fatigue. No matter how much you sleep, you still feel drained. You might notice weight creeping up even if your diet and exercise haven't changed. Brain fog becomes more common, your concentration drops, and you might feel unusually sensitive to cold. Your skin gets dry, your hair brittle, and if the deficiency continues, your thyroid can enlarge, forming what's called a goiter, a visible swelling in your neck. For children and infants, the consequences can be even more serious, leading to developmental delays and lower IQ. In fact, the World Health Organization says iodine deficiency is the single most preventable cause of brain damage worldwide. Now, before you start dumping iodine into your diet, there's another side to this story. More isn't always better. In fact, too much iodine can also cause thyroid problems. For some people, excess iodine can trigger hyperthyroidism, where the thyroid goes into overdrive. In others, it can cause the opposite, hypothyroidism, because the thyroid actually shuts down hormone production when it senses an overload, something called the Wolff-Chaikoff effect. So the key isn't just get more iodine, the key is balance. So where do you actually get iodine from? Seaweed is by far the richest source, with kelp, nori, and wakame packing huge amounts. But the tricky part is that the levels vary wildly, from just enough to way too much in a single serving. Iodized salt is another reliable source. Just half a teaspoon a day usually covers your needs. The problem is that many of us don't realize that the salts used in processed foods, which make up the bulk of most people's diets, are not iodized. On top of that, more people are switching to gourmet salts like sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, which are almost never fortified. Dairy products like milk, yogurt, and cheese can be good sources thanks to iodine-rich feed and cleaning agents used in the dairy industry. Fish, shellfish, and eggs, especially the yolk, are also solid options. So why are deficiencies still happening today? And here are a few reasons for this. Modern diets rely heavily on processed foods, which don't use iodized salt. Soils in some regions are naturally low in iodine, meaning crops grown there are too. And many people have reduced or cut out dairy, eggs, or seafood, which cuts out major sources of iodine. Add in diet trends like veganism or plant-based eating without supplementation, and the risk rises even in wealthier countries. So how much iodine do you actually need? The sweet spot for most adults is about 150 micrograms a day. Pregnant women need closer to 220 to 250 micrograms, and breastfeeding women up to 290, because iodine is essential for the baby's brain development. development. Kids need less, depending on their age, usually between 90 and 120 micrograms. On the flip side, the safe upper limit for adults is about 1,100 micrograms a day. Go way above that regularly, and you risk tipping into thyroid dysfunction. Even though iodized salt programs have cut global deficiency rates dramatically, the World Health Organization estimates that almost 30% of the world's population still isn't getting enough. Pregnant women are especially at risk, and research shows that even mild deficiency during pregnancy can reduce a child's IQ. This isn't just a problem of the past, it's happening right now. So how do you know where you stand? That's where lab testing comes in. The most common test is TSH. If it's high and your T4 is low, that's a sign your thyroid is struggling. Doctors also look at free T3 and free T4, which measure the active hormones directly. Another way to check iodine levels is through urinary iodine, but that test is usually used in population studies rather than for individuals, because iodine intake can swing from day to day. And here's something important: context matters. A slightly high TSH with normal T3 and T4 might not mean you're deficient. It could just be a temporary adjustment. That's why it's best to work with a doctor before making big changes. So let's make this practical. First, check the salt in your kitchen. If it's not iodized and most of your meals come from packaged or restaurant foods, you may not be getting enough. Second, eat a variety of iodine sources: seafood, dairy, and eggs if they fit your diet. Third, be cautious with seaweed. Some servings can contain hundreds or even thousands of micrograms of iodine, way over the daily requirement. Fourth, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, make sure your prenatal supplement includes iodine, but always confirm with your doctor. And finally, don't start popping iodine pills just because you feel tired. The thyroid is delicate, and guessing with supplements can backfire. So here's the takeaway: iodine is essential because it's the raw material for T3 and T4. Too little and your thyroid slows down, TSH rises, and symptoms creep in. Too much and you can shock your thyroid into dysfunction as well. The smartest approach is awareness, variety in your diet, and testing when needed. That way, you keep your thyroid humming along without guesswork. And that's it for today's video, my friends. I've also made a video on why you should do a test before taking any vitamin D supplements. Watch this next.